All right, this is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court for Friday, October 16th, 2020. In compliance with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 24 related to the coronavirus, we're not conducting in-person court proceedings, but doing it remotely through Zoom, provided by the Office of Court Administration. No portion of this, and in order to comply with the Open Courts Act of the Texas Constitution, we are broadcasting these proceedings online on YouTube so the public can observe the proceedings going on in this court. No portion of this court proceeding may be recorded, copied, or broadcast without permission of the court. Violations are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. And so one thing that we've started doing now is this is a court proceeding. And so if you're here somebody to observe, then you're instructed to go to YouTube and observe these proceedings. However, yes, sir. Oh, okay. Do you mind? Yeah. Yes. And so if you wish to just observe these proceedings, you may go to YouTube and observe the proceedings. However, you can attend this session if you are a participant, but if you're a participant, then your camera does need to be on. At this point, I think Jessica Moreno is the only person that needs to turn her camera on. All right, and we're waiting to get the parents' courtroom computer up and running. All right, Ms. Moreno, you need to be still. Please don't exercise while you're in court.
I'm going to go sit down right now at the table.
Thank you. All right, we're just waiting for the parents' courtroom. All right, James, Mr. Reyes, Mr. McElvey, please turn your video on. Or if you just want to observe, you can observe from YouTube. Thank you. Oh, hello, Mr. Masick. I just saw James. I didn't know who it was. And if you haven't noticed, I'm wearing pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month for October. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Jadon Brown.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Reyes. Good to see you.
Well, I'm wearing my pink shirt as well, so you can see that.
All right, let's see. Still waiting on Mr. Brown. All right, can y'all bring Mr. Brown in, please?
This is Mr. Brown, Your Honor.
Oh, it's out of custody. Okay.
Yes.
All right, that makes sense. All right,
Mr. Brown, mother.
This is a detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is I need to decide whether to take you into custody or to release you. If I take you into custody, you will see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. For now, today, Mr. Hall has been appointed for your attorney until the application process is completed. All right. So currently you are on probation for theft of property from $750 to $2,500. I'm going to ask Mr. Reyes, what was the property in question?
Your Honor, Jadon has been very uncooperative.
Yeah, what was stolen?
Oh, you got me that question. I do apologize, Your Honor.
Okay.
Let me go back into my crons. I only know that he was a theft.
Okay, while you're looking that up, Mr. Brown, so you've been a runaway before, back in 2019. Then you picked up this case, the probation with an engaging in organized crime. You're placed on probation for the theft.
Your Honor, I do apologize. I'm having a hard time to get into my JCMS.
That's all right, no problem. We can
I'm sorry.
go over that for now. If you do find it, just let me know.
Yes,
All right,
Your
so
Honor.
back in September of this year, you were placed on probation by Judge Terry. You're supposed to participate in MHMR counseling and the FPP program, and no association with the companions, Chris Henderson and Samare Anderson. All right, so on October 9th, mom said you left the home and associating with the people you were specifically told not to associate with. So CPS investigator contacted, confirmed that you are staying associated with both those people and using weed in the house. You skipped MHMR. And then biological mom said that you came home, grabbed 2 butcher knives, and chased 2 kids in the neighborhood after an argument, but there are no charges filed. And so your school emailed us saying that you have been uncooperative with the school rules, disruptive, and argumentative. So not only are you not learning, but you're keeping other kids from learning as well. All right, so Mr. Reyes, did we give him a drug test this morning?
No, Your Honor, that would be one of my requests. Since he came out of custody, that would be my first thing to do. Ask the detention staff to give him a drug test.
Yeah, okay. All right, so Mr. Brown, this is pretty easy for me. If you're at school and you're keeping other kids from doing the right thing, then I need to remove you from the community. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and detain you. We'll give you a drug test, figure out where you are. We'll see at the 10-day hearing. Here's the other problem. You're not following your mom's rules. What you have to understand is, what I expect is for you to follow the rules. You're a kid, and this is the way things are until you turn 18. So if I release you to home, then you have to follow mom's rules. If you're here, you have to follow these rules. The way you get out of here is you get your behavior level up to 1.0, and then we review your situation, and maybe we release you. But if I release you, it's gonna be back to your mom, and you have to follow her rules and be a level 1.0 in your mom's house. I think what you don't understand is your mom and I are working together against you to make sure you do the right thing. If you refuse to accept her supervision or refuse to accept my supervision as the judge, then you end up in detention. All right? It's gonna be like this all the way up until your 19th birthday, or 18th birthday for your case. So that's just the way it works. One day you'll wake up and say, hey, it's a lot easier to stop fighting it and just follow the rules and just do what I'm supposed to do. But you know, until you actually wake up and make that decision, then you're not gonna have these conversations every 10 days. All right. Thank you, Mr. Brown. All right, Mark.
Thank you.
Yes.
Your Honor, may I be dismissed?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Good to see
You have a
you.
nice weekend.
We're done. You're done.
All right. So I'm going to go back and one more time. Mr. Mitchell, Miss Erica Miller, and Latrina Horton. This is a court proceeding. You have to turn your camera on. If you just want to observe what's going on, you can go to YouTube and see it. Otherwise, I do expect people to participate. So this is why I'm removing Mr. and Miss Cobbs, because it's an empty couch. And if you're going to participate, you're going to participate. All right, so Marco, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The purpose of this, you've been here for 10 days, so I'm going to review your case and decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. All right. So Marco, you're currently on probation for...
Your Honor, he's not on probation.
You're just on supervision. Okay. All right. Okay, so Marco, let's see. Back in August, you were referred by Fort Worth PD for unlawfully carrying a weapon. They were doing an investigation to a stolen vehicle. They tracked it with a GPS. And the attorney says the vehicle was shot off by Encore, would probably mean OnStar, right?
It said Encore in the police report, so
Okay.
probably OnStar, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Let's see. So when they approached the vehicle, they saw the driver as Damian Ponce, Marco as the front passenger, saw a brown revolver in the passenger door within reach of Marco. Victim said the car was stolen August 22nd, a couple hours before the police pulled it over. The driver is arrested for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Marco was arrested for unlawfully carrying a weapon. So then he was brought here. But this all happened because while he had a pending case from July, he was referred in custody for theft of property, $2,500 to $30,000. Victim said his 2001 F-450 was stolen after he left it running with the keys ignition when he was working on a home in Northside. So neighbors saw two Hispanic males, one with an afro, another with a black t-shirt, out of the truck, drive away. A few minutes later, police found the vehicle, drove the owner to it. He identified it. Officers also located a second stolen vehicle, and Marco's name was provided as a suspect. They obtained his address, tried to speak with him. When a second juvenile ran out the back door, was caught by police. Police spoke with Marco. He admitted to be in possession of the keys and a cell phone, both in his room. And Marco said that Martin stole the truck, and Martin reported that Marco was the driver. So they were brought over here. Then 2 weeks later, Marco was referred out of custody for burglary of habitation. Police responded to a burglary call. Victim said she heard noises from the garage. She said the garage door was open. And when she went out there, she saw two Hispanic males, one Marco, one Martin. There was in her car rummaging through the console. Marco was standing inside looking as a lookout. So they ran away when they heard the owner come to the garage. There was a Ring camera, caught it on video. So Marco had a case for theft, stealing a car. 2 weeks later, he was released. The JPD released him. 2 weeks later, he gets arrested for going through a car in a garage. He was released. 2 weeks later, he was caught in a stolen car with a gun and positive for weed. So, all right, Marco. So there's obviously a problem. It seems like you like other people's things. You don't want to work for your own things. So if I let you go, I'm pretty sure you're just going to steal more things from other people. So I'm going to keep you here. You have a hearing coming up with one of the judges. We'll figure out what to do with your case. But at this point, you just got to respect other people's property. You wouldn't like if somebody stole from you. All right. Thank you, Marco.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Ms. YYYYY. Quintes Collier. All right, Erica Miller, this is your last chance. Latrina Horton, this is your last chance. You can turn on your cameras or go watch on YouTube.
Judge Kim,
Yes?
Latrina Horton is Quintes Collier's mom. She just turned her camera off. She's trying to get her audio to come on so she can hear.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Hello, Ms. Horton. All right, Ms. Miller, this is your last chance. All right, Mr. Collier, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing. You've been here 10 days, so I'm reviewing your case, deciding what to do. I keep you here. You see a judge every 10 days. You have a right to an attorney. You have a right to remain silent. All right, so you're 16 years old. It's a 10-day hearing. You're level 2. All right, so I'm just going to let you know I'm not going to release you. I just want to make sure there's probable cause. There's an Acura down in Arlington, South Cooper, fled from the police. The vehicle was stolen out of Euless. There's a video over at QT that shows you getting in the car. So that's in May. And in June, about 10 o'clock, the victim went to a girlfriend's apartment, was attacked by several males, saw a firearm in one of the suspect's hands when he was attacked by the 4 juveniles. Quintes was one of the 4 who assaulted the victim, took his property. And he saw Quintes swing something toward his head. He fell to the ground, began to bleed. And then they were beating him down while he was on the ground. All right, so there's a photo lineup, and you're testing positive for weed while you had a case pending.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, all right, Quintes, so you had a case pending, you're smoking weed, and you get picked up for a new offense. And now you're here, and you're not level 1-0. So, yes, sir.
That girlfriend, that is my mom.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to interrupt you, and I apologize for being rude. Here's the thing. You have a lawyer, and I am pretty sure Mr. Adniji does not want you to say anything. Is that fair to say, Mr. Adniji?
Correct, Judge.
All right, so.
What the judge just read is not the hearing of the case is just for probable cause raising. So your response to it doesn't change anything. But what we need to focus on is for you to get to level 1 outstanding.
Yeah, Quintes, this is not your trial, all right? This is simply, I need to decide whether there's probable cause. That means, can somebody put in writing certain statements that, if they were true, would be a violation of the law, okay? And so I'm not saying they are true, I'm just saying this is what they say, all right? Now, it doesn't change the fact that you got a pending case and you're positive for weed. It doesn't change the fact that while you're here, you're not level 1-0. Okay? Those are, I would apologize just because you're positive for weed with a pending case. Okay? Whether or not you committed the case, because you know that you're not supposed to be smoking weed. So if you have a question for me, I don't mind answering the question. If you want to tell me something, you probably need to use your right to remain silent. Okay? Did you have a question for me?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes, it does have a question for you, Judge.
Yes.
He wants to go home.
Well, that's not a question, Mr. Adniji.
But when can he go home?
Okay, so that's a question. And the answer to that question is, I will not start this conversation until you're level 1-0. That's the step that you can take to control and start the conversation. Then at that point, then I look at it and decide other factors. But no matter how good or how bad the other factors are, if you're not a level 1-0, I'm not letting you home. And if I let you go home, you have to be a level 1-0 at home too, right?
So Judge Kim, I turn to 1-0 tomorrow morning.
So you know what? You missed it though. So I don't know what happened a couple of days ago that made you drop down, but really that's nobody's fault but yours.
Yes,
right?
Your Honor.
So you got to, unfortunately, this is part of being a man, is when you make a mistake, you got to own it. All right. This is just part of owning it.
Yes,
all
Your
right.
Honor.
So we'll see you in 10 days. Thank you, Mr. Collier.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right. Heaven Garcia. Do I have all of them today? Oh, okay. All right. We're just waiting on Garcia. Okay, Monica Pena, I'm going to ask you to turn your camera on. This is a court setting. Ms. Cobb, you need to turn your camera on. If you wish simply to observe, you can do so from YouTube. Thank you. All right, Heaven, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm here to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, oh, I'm sorry, this is a new referral. Okay. So when you come here, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you see a judge every 10 days. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, we'll provide one for you. All right, so Heaven, you have pending cases. And then yesterday, you turned yourself in for a DTA for electronic monitor violation. About 9:10, our officer saw a master tamper alert. He said he spoke with the mom. She said that you were playing outside with little brother, and she thinks the monitor must have fallen off, but said the youth was outside. Mom said she would have to bring the youth in by 8 in the morning to have the monitor inspected and get restrapped. Mom said she would be receiving calls to check the status. At 1:30 in the afternoon, officers talked to mom. She said Heaven was not in the home, so we should have warned for you. Simple enough. Heaven, you can't cut off your monitor. If I have the monitor on you, the idea of that is to allow you to be supervised at home and in the community. But if you're cutting off the monitor, I have no idea where you were. So at this point, there's a decision that you made to cut it off. Yes, sir. You have a question for me.
It's because like I was playing too much and I guess it got loose.
All right. So Heaven, I'm going to reset this conversation and tell you the absolute worst thing you can do to me is lie to me. It is not going to work out for you if you lie to me. There are two things that bother me as a judge, and the number one thing is that people lied to the court. Okay, I afford you respect by being honest with you and being truthful with you. If you're going to lie to me and disrespect me, this is not going to work out for you at all.
Heaven and Mom, don't say anything. There's nothing you can say is going to help today. Just, Judge, we have nothing else to say.
And Mom, if you believe him saying that, he's lying to you too. And you know what? Part of the problem why he's a liar is probably because you've allowed him to be a liar, to think that he's tricking you when he's not, and you didn't want to hurt his feelings. And now we're here with him lying to me, and creating the situation, making the situation much, much worse than it was before. So Mom, hopefully you have not been enabling him to become a liar, but he is a liar, all right? So it's our job to fix that.
No.
Yes, Mom?
Yeah, no. Well, I received a call yesterday. Well, I was outside with them. So I'm not a liar.
You're not a liar. Absolutely. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying he is.
So when we were inside at home is when I received the call. And then
Yeah. No, that part, I'm not blaming you. You did what you're supposed to do. But when Heaven tells me he was playing too rough and it fell off, you have not seen these straps, Mom, or you have not seen them taken apart. I have. They don't just fall off. People take them off. They have to be manipulated to be taken off. It doesn't just happen like that. And when he's trying to play innocent, like it's the plastic band with metal wires going through, it's that fault and not his. I can't believe he's going to disrespect me like that. And somewhere along the way, Heaven's been lying to people, and they have been ignoring his lies, making him think that he's so clever and smart and that he can get away with lying. But at the end of the day, he's just a liar, all right?
okay.
And I don't tolerate that.
So another thing, nobody, no officer, I don't know the name. They told me I supposedly bring to him at 8 a.m. That was a lie too, because nobody told me that.
I'm not worried. He's here. I'm not worried about that, Mom. And in fact, you did the right thing by bringing him in because
Yes, I
remember the paper you signed to get him out last time? You remember signing that paper?
Yes.
Yeah. So when a parent signs that, if the kid doesn't come back, that allows me to issue warrants for the parent. So by you bringing him here, that will, you did the right thing. So I don't issue a warrant for you.
We'll do the right thing, always.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm not gonna say always because he just lied to me. All right. Most of the time, well, he did. All right. It doesn't just fall off. All right. But Mom, I appreciate you doing the right thing. That gives me confidence in you. Looking forward, that means it's probably a good place, like you're an appropriate place to put him. But for right now, yeah, I'm not going to tolerate that. If he thinks he can lie to me, that is the one thing that you do to upset me more than anything else. Or not you, but him. All right? All right, so Heaven, we'll see you in 10 days. Thank you. Faith Henley. Just fell off, Ed. It's like those people, I don't know how I tested positive for marijuana. All right, we're waiting on Miss Henley.
Yeah, right here.
All right, hello, Miss Henley. Okay, Judge Kim, this is a 10-day detention hearing. I'm here to review your case and decide whether to release you or keep you in custody. All right, we have a bunch of assault bodily injuries. I remember you, all right? And then we released you to San Marcos for treatment, and then you ran away from there. I think you stole a truck with a trailer on it too. Do I remember that one right?
No.
No? Oh, I'm confusing with somebody else. But yeah, you did run away from San Marcos with other people. All right, so here's the thing. So you're level 3, unacceptable. You know what happens then, right? Okay. So I need to let you know you're in control of your behavior level. Only you can control that. So what you have to do, is the parent here or not here?
They were on, Your Honor. I think they aren't on here any longer, though.
Are they the ones I kicked off for the empty couch?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, please apologize to them. I just saw the empty couch. All right. So, Faith, the way you get out of here, the way you start the conversation about getting out of here is by being a level 1-0. Okay. And you're the only one that can control that. What you have to look at is, from my perspective, is that if you are a level 3 there, if I let you go, then I can only assume you'll be a level 3 at home, which means you'll pick up more cases. Okay. Prove to me that you can behave here. That allows me to trust you to put you back in the community where you can behave in the community. Okay. That's my thought process. I just want you to understand the way I'm thinking. That way it's not like this big confusing thing. It's actually really, really simple. Now, that being said, I know there was talk last time about maybe adjudication and transfer to Wise County. What is the status of that, Ms. Taylor?
We are set on the 30th, or
Okay.
the 31st, I believe. We're set in a couple weeks.
Okay. Well, hopefully, this will be taken care of. So Faith, I want you to know that just in case we get to the point where you're adjudicated and you're transferred to Wise County, I'm not going to hold your behavior level against you. All right. I would release you to Wise County. All right. So that's really kind of something for the lawyers to take care of. But right now, while we're pending a case, If you're not level 1O, then you're going to stay here. And you just, I don't know what your experience in the past has been with authority, like your parents or RTCs. Sometimes they just give up because it's not worth the fight. For me, it's worth the fight. I will die on this hill. Okay? I will hold strong to this one and keep you as long as I can until you're level 1O. That's my cutoff. At that point, I'll consider other options, okay? All right, thank you, Faith.
Thank
All right.
you.
Martin
Yeah.
Herrera. All right, Mr. Herrera, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing. I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have a right to remain silent and you have a right to an attorney. If your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so Martin, you've been here for 45 days. You're 15 years old. Let's see, you were brought in because you left home without permission and left for a couple of days. You left on August 24th, came back on August 25th. You left again on August 27th and came back on the 29th. Then you left mom's home on August 31st and came back on September 1st. You're on probation for assault of a public servant. And then, so we brought you in for out of custody detention hearing on September 3rd. You're positive for weed while you're on probation for a felony offense. And you understand you're on probation for a felony, so you know you can be committed to TJJD?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and they can keep you there all the way up until your 19th birthday. All right, so Judge Terry thought it was probably a bad idea to take you into custody or to leave you in the community on probation, which I kind of agree because you're running away from home and you're smoking weed while you're on probation. So then you flipped her off and then you yelled, "Fuck you, bitch." And you certainly made the condition a lot worse for yourself. So, yeah, so she ordered that you have to have 24 consecutive calendar days on level 1 outstanding before it's even considered that you be released, and ordered a resource staffing and placement search. So, Woodard Academy is considering you, and parents feel like they can't control you. So, all right, well.
Your Honor, can I say something, please?
Yes.
For that placement, it's in Iowa. That's like far. I don't have transportation to drive 10 hours. Like I'm expressing concerns. For all of that, I feel like I'd just rather deal with his behavior out here versus him be sent 10 hours away from me.
Sure.
I mean, I just don't feel like that's fair that I can't afford to fly and I can't afford to drive 10 hours to visit him. I
Well,
get it.
yeah.
He's in trouble, but I just don't understand why that far.
So here's the problem. Even if he's here living in your house and he leaves, you can't see him then either, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you're assuming that everything in Iowa, like if he doesn't go to Iowa, everything will be fine. He's just going to run away again. He's going to smoke more weed. And honestly, so this is generally kind of the roadmap of the way I do things as the judge here, okay? Generally speaking, kids come in, whether it's a misdemeanor or felony, we give them a chance on probation. Usually it's DPP or supervisory caution, something very small. We assume that kids just made a poor decision and put them back, don't go through the legal process. After that, if I can see that again. So, like, you know, Martin got assault public servant back in 2018. That was a supervisory caution. Then in 2019, had a criminal trespass. That was supervisory caution. Picked up a case in December of 19, criminal mischief. The DA waived it. In January, assault bodily injury, the DA waived it. Finally, in March, he picks up a case that gets probation, okay? So he's on probation. If he constantly messes up probation, then the next normal step for most places is going to be commitment to TJJD. But what I try and do is do one last step of placement at a facility, okay? Now, if it looks like placement's not right, I have no problem sending kids to TJJD, or sometimes it used to be called TYC, okay?
Right.
But I'm looking at this that maybe there's a chance that we can help Marco in a placement. Now those placements aren't going to be local, right? There's only a couple around the country, and so Iowa just has to be one that's one of the few, actually, at this point, that's one to take him. So, you know, if you're telling me he needs to be closer to the home, it may be better just to send him to TJJD. I don't think so. But you understand, that's kind of the options we're at. We gave Marco multiple chances. He just doesn't care about probation. He doesn't care about what I think. He doesn't care about what you think either, Mom. Okay? And so this is the situation that Martin created for himself. And it's not your fault. I mean, I don't know, maybe some of it is your fault. I don't know your history. I don't think so though, Mom, because I really like you. I like how much you love your son. The problem is Martin's going to do what Martin wants to do. He doesn't care. And that can be exemplified by his interaction with Judge Terry when he was in court. He doesn't care what anybody else thinks, right? It's his world. We just live in it. He's just a very selfish person. And so there may be a time for you to, it sounds like, I don't know if you enable him or not. I don't know you well enough, but it may be time for soul searching. There may have been some enabling along the way that he thought was appropriate to custody the judge in court when the judge is the one making the decision to release him or not. Okay, so, but it is what it is. We're here now. And so Martin has to deal with it. You and I sleep in our own beds at night. We eat our own food during the day. Martin doesn't have those choices. So does this make more sense to you, Mom? Mom, did I lose you? Okay, I think I lost her. Okay. All right, so Martin, I don't even know, what was his behavior level? Okay, so one outstanding. So Martin, you're keeping that door open for placement, right? Because if you're less than one outstanding, it's still my decision. You're not guaranteed, you don't have a right to go to placement. That is the decision for me to make. And so by being level 1-0, that's showing me that you're making some better decisions back there than you did before. All right. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Judge.
Roderick Jones. All right, security control.
Who's coming, sir?
All right, security control, are you back there?
Yes, sir.
Was that Martin causing a scene back there?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can you bring him back, please? Mr. Jones, please step out. And I want Martin back here.
Want him back?
Oh, yeah. Ms. Moreno, I am sure this is not new to you.
No, it's not. It's just so frustrating because
What you have to realize is some of the best parents in the world that I've come across, you have children that make poor decisions, right? Some things are outside of our control.
I know.
Your Honor, when Martin and I spoke yesterday, we did discuss placement, and I think he is a little upset that he's not being given a chance to possibly go home prior to possibly leaving for placement. And I think that may have been a big reason why he had an incident just now after your decision.
All right, so Mr. Herrera, I could hear what happened, and you punching walls and causing a scene and acting like a baby, right? What I want you to understand is that the number one rule when you dug yourself into a hole, and this hole being you're looking at possibly TJJD replacement, is that you stop digging. And you keep on digging. You dug the hole deeper with Judge Terry, now you're digging the hole deeper with me. At a certain point, you think that you can't dig yourself any worse than you are, you're digging yourself worse than you are. That's one thing I want you to understand, that things can always get worse. There's no situation so bad that you can't make it worse. And now you've made your situation even, well, I'd say a bit more worse. All right, so I would take this to mind and take in consideration while you have time to think back there on the decisions that you're making. Because what you're telling me is if this is the way you're going to behave at placement, then I'm not going to do this to the fine folks at Woodard Academy in Iowa. They deserve better than a kid that's going to go and be violent and aggressive, right? That's what TJJD is for. So if you're trying to convince me that TJJD is the only place that can send you, then you're actually doing a pretty good job. So, all right, well, Mr. Herrera, I can only hope that when you step off this camera again, that you will behave yourself and not cause a scene that makes me bring you back here a second time. Thank you, Mr. Herrera.
The judge.
Thank you, Ms. McGonigal.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Jones, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing. You have the right to an attorney. Mr. Adeniji is here. You have a right to remain silent. And if I keep you here, you have a right to see a judge every 10 days. All right, so Mr. Jones, this is the homicide. You were at a sleepover at your friend's house, decided to rob. Decided you want mom's boyfriend's phone. So I guess he shot him while he's sleeping or in bed. And so your co-respondent shot his mom and then tried to shoot the roommate. And so, all right, so you're level 1 outstanding, which is good. You're here on murder. And now we are looking at, all right, so here's my problem. Mr. Adeniji and the prosecutor is?
Reed.
Mr. Reed. All right, so we're at 172 days in detention. All right, so we're 8 days from the point where I'm going to really start pushing you. So I've been telling you this whole time that I'll give you latitude until we get to 6 months. But once we get to 6 months in detention, I'm going to push it. And so I'm letting you know in about a week, Ms. Smith, I think you were here. If you can pass on to Mr. Reed, I understand he's kind of late to the game, but this is an older case that he inherited.
I think the investigator on the case is just a little bit tardy.
Is what?
Tardy. They're not coming out fast with what information we all need.
Okay. Well,
but we're making progress in terms of what we want to do. But
sure,
we can't come to an agreement when a lot of investigation is still outstanding.
I understand. So I guess I can put it out there. If it's just me, I'm pushing this. I'm really putting pressure on this one to move it. Okay, because we're at 180 days now. Of course, if there's constitutional restrictions that I'm bound by, of course, I can't do anything about that. But if I'm left alone, I'll be studying for trial pretty quickly. But if he has other constitutional protections under 4th, 5th, 6th, 10th Amendments, 14th Amendments, then of course I'll abide by that. All right. So, Mr. Jones, I hope you understand that I'm not going to let you go because of the seriousness of this offense, but I hope you do appreciate that I'm concerned about your rights and the fact that you've been here for so long. That doesn't make me happy. I do want this case to move, okay? If anything, it's not because you've been here so much as you've been here. Does that make sense? Like, let's say you didn't do this, right? Let's say you're innocent of all this. It's not right for you to have sat here for so long. And that's why I want to push the case. When I say push the case, I want you to have your trial as soon as possible. Because of how serious this case is, I want to make sure that the DA and your attorney are able to prepare effective defenses for you or against you, right? The DA has to have their fair shot too. But after 6 months in a juvenile case, I think we're starting to get to that point. So I just want to let you know the reason why I'm pushing your attorney and the DA is because I'm trying to protect your rights, okay?
Sure.
All right. But I appreciate you being level 1-0. All right. Hopefully your attorney has a good defense on this case. Because I just, I don't want to see anybody convicted for anything. But, if you did it, you did it. So that's something for your attorney to deal with as well. All right. So we'll see you in 10 days. I hope you understand why I'm keeping you here. But I hope you also understand that I'm concerned that you've been here for so long.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Marian King. Hello, Mr. Gladstone.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, so Mr. King, good to see
I'm
you
already
again.
done.
Yeah, I know you finna detain me, finna tell me I'm a threat to society, you know, that you got proper cause to hold me. Yeah, I hear you, but I'm gonna go ahead and get out here because I know you finna detain me. So you have a good day though. You stay up. All y'all have a nice day.
I appreciate it, Mr. King. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Judge, Mr. Raleigh, DA Shaw and I will have an agreed continuance for your consideration on this matter. The discovery is just coming in, and the psychological came in yesterday, so it's going to probably need some time.
Okay.
But hopefully I get that to you either today or latest Monday.
Okay, sounds good. Look forward to seeing you.
Judge, just want to put you on notice. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too, Mr. Gladstone.
All right, may I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Nathaniel Pena. Boy, that was fresh, wasn't it? All right, Mr. Pena, I'm Judge Kim. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you see a judge every 10 days while you're here. All right, you turn 17 this week or next week. All right. You were on probation. Let's see. Well, you were on probation before for the misdemeanor assault, but that expired. And then, let's see, in July, you were brought in. There was a robbery call. Victim said a Hispanic male wearing a red hoodie, black pants, black ski mask, black shoes, and blue rubber gloves, armed with a black handgun, entered the store, pointed the gun, demanded money. Victim complied, and the suspect took about $1,000. Then he left the store, entered the passenger side of a white vehicle, left the location. In August, Haltom City contacted Fort Worth PD, said they had identified the suspect, and relayed the message that on August 7th, Richland Hills was dispatched to a home with a suspect with a gun call. Officers located Nathaniel Pena along with 5 other people who lived in the home. While on scene, the owners gave the officers consent to search the house, the gun that Nathaniel had during the altercation, found a black backpack in the dryer with narcotics, clothing, and the black handgun. Sent the picture over to Fort Worth PD, which matched the clothing and the handgun used in the robbery. There's a search warrant. Go through the phone, Nathaniel's phone. I found a message saying, "Alum licks and stows, I hit all them people I scared." Sent right after the message was sent, days after the robbery. Another message was about planning the robbery. So there's a warrant issued. Found you at a motel, brought you in here. You were before the court for a 10-day in front of Judge Porter. You were released on electronic monitor. You've had no violations since being released. Oh, that was in September. Wait, hold on a second. I don't understand. So, Ms. Blair, what?
Your Honor, he was released on September 8th, and then he got brought in for the ag robbery.
Oh, he was released for a terroristic threat. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay, but the robbery happened before he was released.
Correct.
Right, okay. Yeah, and then he's positive. Well, back in August, he was positive for weed, but negative when he was brought back in. All right, so, all right, Nathaniel, here's the thing for me is, I think I told you this last time at your detention hearing. Normally, if it's the offense is before the warrant, I have a Monica Pena here. Is Monica your mom?
That is his mom, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to pause for a minute so I can give her a chance to join Zoom. Oh, I think she's having problems. All right, there's Ms. Pena. All right, so Nathaniel, we had this conversation before. Usually when you're brought in, the violations from before you were let go, I don't hold it against you. But because we're involving a firearm, it's just so dangerous, and the firearm was used in a robbery, it gives me great concern. I have to be absolutely comfortable with releasing you. I don't want blood on my hands, right? And It's not necessarily about you, but it's about overall all the kids here. That is why I'm so tough on kids with guns. Right? So at this point, I'm not absolutely comfortable about releasing you. So I'm going to go and detain you. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just I have to be comfortable in my heart. You understand what I mean? And so that's why I'm going to detain you. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm trying to show you respect by explaining my thought process. Okay? All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. Corbin Pittman.
You can ask the judge.
All right, Mr. Pittman, I'm Judge Kim. You've been here. Let's see. So when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. All right, so Corbin, you're 14 years old. You were just brought in. See, back in March, you were brought in for assault, bodily injury, and retaliation. According to police, school resource officers was advised of a fight in the cafeteria. When they got there, staff was escorting Corbin and the victim to the office. They're placed in different offices. Officer Lyons went to the principal's office, watching a surveillance video. When they watched, they saw Corbin walk toward the victim as he was trying to leave the cafeteria, walks up, pushes him into the table, and began to hit him with a fist. The victim reported that Corbin began to bully him after he told a teacher that he was seen in the bathroom smoking a vape. Corbin at one point threatened to get the victim. Victim's mother arrived at the scene, advised that she wanted to pursue charges. All right, so you have that going on. Now in October, yesterday, Azle PD brought you in on an assault. They're saying about 4:30 yesterday, they were dispatched for domestic. The call said that Corbin had left the house after assaulting mom and dad. When he got there, talked to parents who said that they confronted Corbin about taking money out of the father's wallet. Corbin admitted to doing such, but would not return it. So there's a verbal altercation, turned physical. Corbin slapped mom, punch kicked dad in the face, came back home, and then ran from the police. So, Mr. Nava, did we give him a drug test?
There was multiple attempts from the morning all the way to the afternoon. There was an attempt made this morning, and he has not provided.
All right, so Corbin, I want to let you know that when you're brought here and you're told to give a drug sample, and you don't, and you refuse, I just assume you're positive for everything. And when I say everything, I mean PCP, meth, heroin, cocaine. Because why else would you be refusing the test if it's just weed, right? So you got to be hiding more than you're actually using. So, you know, you have a pending case and you're using all these drugs and not picking up new offenses. But who would slap their mom? And of all the people in the world, the person who changed your diaper, like literally, you're at the point where you're pooping yourself, and she's waking up in the middle of the night to make sure that you're clean and you can sleep, and you turn around 10 years later, 14 years later, and you hit her, right? The person who literally denied herself from buying the clothes she wants or taking the trip she wants or the food that she wants to make sure that you had enough to eat, you have enough to wear, you have a bed to sleep in, the sacrifices that she made, that you repay her by hitting her, right? The parents that pay for your Wi-Fi, the house, the electricity, all these things that they provide for you, and that you're gonna go and take money out of your dad's wallet. And when you get caught doing it, you refuse to return the money that you didn't even earn, right? That's just, to me, the amount of disrespect that you have for the people that are sacrificing what they have for you, right? I mean, they're just, you know, maybe one day somebody's gonna treat you the way you treat other people, and you'll know what it feels like to absolutely love and care for somebody and give everything that you have for their benefit, and they turn around and they physically assault you. So anyways, Corbin, at this point, I think you're in danger if I let you home. So I'm gonna go ahead and detain you, if anything, for your drug use. So we'll see you in 10 days, Corbin. Thank you. Matthew Sale. Thank you, Mom.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll get that from you.
All right, Mr. Sale, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm reviewing your case, deciding, oh, no, this is out-of-state juvenile warrant. All right, so Mr. Sale, are you still requesting, oh, this is the one out of Oklahoma. So are you still requesting a contested hearing?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we need to schedule this one fairly quickly. I've been out of town. My understanding is I'm the one that has to do this hearing. All right. And so I am back from vacation. And so we will schedule this fairly quickly. Okay.
Set for next Tuesday, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, Ms. Paxton, I didn't see you here. Hey, come by and see me sometime after docket. I have a
Sure.
quick question for you. Okay.
It's actually
really.
scheduled next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, okay. Yeah, it's not related to this case at all, or any of the cases.
Okay.
All right, so, so Mr. Sale, we're set for Wednesday. It's gonna be hearing, I think what we're gonna do is actually, it's just a juvenile warrant. It's not a runaway case. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so we'll go and take care of that. Mr. Adler's gonna point to your case, and then we'll just decide then what to do. If, I just to give you a roadmap, if I go ahead and deny the interstate compact, then we just release you onto the street. If I grant the request from the governor's warrant from Oklahoma, we keep you here. We'll let Austin know, and then Austin will call. Oklahoma City is the capital of Oklahoma, right? Yeah, we'll call Oklahoma City, and then they will send somebody within 10 days to pick you up. If they don't pick you up, all they have to do is call and say, can you hold them for another 10 days, please? Austin will say yes, and then we'll hold you for another 10 days. Probably after about 30 days, if Oklahoma doesn't pick you up, Texas will release you. That's not a hard rule. That's just kind of what happens, all right? I just want to kind of give you a roadmap of what could happen out of this case, okay? All right, do you have any questions for me, Mr. Sale?
No, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and I believe now it is Judge Porter who has something. Okay. All right, thank you, everyone. Judge Porter is now on the docket. Thank you, Judge Porter.
If the court coordinator will stop